podcast that brings you insights and stories from executive coaches and change makers in the leadership space. In this podcast, you'll hear from experts who have successfully coached leaders and teams to achieve their goals and overcome challenges and transform their organizations. Whether you're a coach, a leader, or someone who wants to grow personally and professionally, this is the podcast for you to tune in, get inspired, and activate your potential with Delenta Activate.
Hello and welcome to Delenta Activate. I'm Sam, founder of Delenta.com and your host. If you haven't heard about Delenta before, we are an all-in-one technology coaching management platform that helps coaches and organizations to run and scale their coaching business in one simple place. We provide all the digital tools for you to scale your impact that you're making with your coaching business. So today's guest is someone who sits right at the intersection of coaching, social change, and global development. I'm thrilled to welcome Coura Badiane, Vice President of the ICF Foundation. The ICF Foundation, as you know, there's a philanthropic arm in the International Coaching Federation, which is dedicated to advancing social progress through coaching for social impact. So Coura has over 2 decades of experience in international development, association management, and multicultural communications. And she's now leads the initiative that connects professional coaches and social change organizations around the world. Coura, welcome to Didn't Elevate. It's such pleasure having you with us.
Thank you, Sam, and it's such a pleasure for having me today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I still remember, like I think going back like sort of a few months ago, we met in San Diego at is it ICF Converge 2025,
Yes.
right? And I think we got introduced by some of our networks and Suresh, Lees, and others, and they kindly want you to speak with me, and now they also encourage you to speak with you. And I remember still waiting in front of the booth, ICF Foundation booth, and for us to meet and connect. We organized a time, and the booth was buzzing, like people in the booth, like, oh my god, they just were taking photos and then speaking and talking about the life stories. And the time that we wanted to meet, we could not meet that day and continue the conversation. We're like, okay, we're gonna reschedule this because we just kept on and people coming to you with you, and I'm basically start talking to others. So it's this incredible bunch. So I mean, congratulations creating such a great culture around
Thank you so much.
you do. And Cora, like, what is that? How you create that such culture in a sort of a non-profit, sort of a socially impactful environment? I'm sure there are passionate people, but there's something that in the leadership that you do that everybody can learn from. So what is that you do that
Oh, that's very kind of you. Well, first of all, I have to say I'm very honored to be able to represent the voice of our members. Our coaches do amazing work. They're very passionate. They love to give it forward. So it's really an honor for me to be part of, be able to represent them in those environments. But I think really, coaching is such a interesting concept because it really allows you to kind of unleash and unlocks your own potential. So in a way, it's a very giving profession. It's very emotional, and people, whether they are the one giving the coaching or receiving the coaching, just are very connected to the mission of it. So I think that really that's why when you get to this ICF gathering, there is this sense of community. People truly want to make a difference, and they are happy to see each other, and they're happy to collaborate. And I think it just kind of trickled down to the staff and to the leadership and the audience. So I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I wouldn't be able to take credit on it by my own, but I think it's a very emotional connection.
yes.
People want to see you better. People want to see you succeed. And as a way, you have this whole community that really rally around you in that sense.
It's transpired beautifully, I would tell you. Like, it's really, really nice to see. And I sort of get energized by even thinking about that, that, sort of encounter, because it's not that, you basically go into conferences, events, and, you learn a lot and you meet a lot of people, but sometimes these things actually resonate the most, like the relationship that you're building and the energy that you exchange with these individuals. So, yeah, congratulations, and great what you
Thank
what
you.
you're leading with. So no, absolutely. Okay, so you know what? Do I'm sure there are got a lot of listeners in our community, and of course your followers want to sort of learn about you. Before the titles, like let's start with you as a person. Yeah, when you think back to your early life or career, what was a formative experience that shaped you and passion for the social impact and development? What was
Thank you, Sam. We'd love to do that. So, I am a Senegalese American, proud being from Senegal, born and raised. And I think being from that area of the world
that? Right.
has really kind of being part of community and creating impact has always something that kind of been inculcated in me through like religion, culture, just community.
Beautiful.
So based on that, I made a very intentional decision to really kind of create that awareness and have experiences in international development and economics
Right.
because I felt that that was my way to be able to give back to my wonderful community of Senegal. So based on that, I was able to have wonderful opportunity to leave the Senegal to go study in the US. Being able to really get a lot of wonderful opportunity through academics and professional development to really be able to connect human development, global impact, and how do you create sustainable change. So that's kind of like what led me to coaching because for me, coaching and human development are really similar. In a
Right.
way, it's a way to be able to unload and unpack people's capability and agency, and really, in a way, make them the master of their own destiny. And once again, because I'm from West Africa, and all the journey that we have went through, from the 80s, dealing with the global institution, repaying the debt, what is really has stayed with me is the importance of investing in human development, and that's basically having access to education, having access to health, and having an opportunity to earn your own living. To me, and I this is just my personal belief, I think these are the three levels that allow people to live a dignified and significant life. So to me, going into coaching felt like a natural next step in my academic and professional journey. And that's one of the reasons why I joined the ICF Foundation in late 2020 because I felt like coaching really embody those principles for me. And also, it was during the pandemic, so it was a lot of rethinking what do I do, what is my purpose. So I thought that was a very nice alignment for me.
Yeah. Wow, that's so beautiful. Like very eloquently put it, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Um, no, so that should be like a sort of. I mean, you said about pandemic time. We all took a sort of break and sort of try to understand or realize what's going on. And um, so, is there any particular sort of trigger or sort of realization? When was this? When did you realize actually, this is the kind of work that you're meant to do? Is
Mhm. I mean, I think very early on, just even growing up in Senegal, I mean, I was very lucky. I came from a very, and I said humbly, from a very nice background. So I had a lot of opportunity. But going to school, looking at my classmates, some of my classmates were definitely much smarter than me. But unfortunately, because of economic situation, they were not able to take advantage of some of these opportunities. So I think to me, that's something I take with me. I don't take it for granted because I feel like in a way where you end up in life depends on where you start. And I think the leveling field will be to just provide the same level of opportunity to anybody at any level so they can maybe correct and elevate to where they need to be. So I think it's like I say, it's a combination of like culture and religion. It's really kind of really try to pay it forward. And I think as a whole, the more we get along and the more people have opportunity as a society, it has a ripple effect.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is so. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing this story, and just basically reacting to it without any preparation. But to be honest, when we created Delenta at the very beginning back in 2018, it was completely exactly the same values.
Oh wow.
It's because I wanted to create something, like a purposeful, like you said, create this level field where people can share their knowledge and wisdom with others for free without any transaction involved. And now it's just as a social experiment. that we did back in the day, and to see this, we built a huge community around that, and I was
Yes.
so surprised. Like, I mean, we hear sometimes social media and everything, oh, the world is etc. But there's so much good things going on, and there's so
Hmm.
many beautiful souls doing great
Absolutely.
things in this space, and we are so lucky that in that space of have more great
Yes.
souls like a lot.
I
So
like the positive.
exactly, exactly, and we want more of those. We want more of
Yeah.
those for the next generation, for
Mhm.
the next person to come in and sort of understand from these lessons and etc. So again, that's beautiful put. Um, so let's go back into the sort of starting of the ICF journey.
Mhm.
How does it look like? Like, so you became a coach and you want to sort of work with ICF closely, or how what is your sort of how did you get into ICF Foundation?
Yeah, so actually, I'm not a coach.
All right, okay.
I'm not a coach.
Me
And as
too.
I say, I think
Yeah,
at the time when the position came vacant, they were looking for somebody who had experience in international development, social impact, to see how coaching could be integrated. And I'm very grateful that I was given this opportunity
yeah,
to be able to contribute. But I mean, the messaging was already there. The
right,
foundation has been established since 2015 within ICF, and they've been doing amazing work prior to even me joining, and really, be able to create that community of coaches, paying it forward, and they are really doing it around the premise of the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
right,
And the founding idea was really to be able to use coaching as a lever of change. And the theory of change for the foundation is really to be able to connect people that are supporting any of the UN SDGs and give them coaching. And the framework is that, by having the right conversation at the right time with the right people,
right.
that influence their ability to deliver their mission, and as a result, society as a whole is able to benefit. So maybe to give you an example,
Hmm.
quality education is a big, well, it's one of our most popular topic in terms of UN SDG, where people, either they're coming from like an academic background, or they are helping maybe increase female literacy around the world. There is a lot of interest into being able into this specific UN SDG. So we typically work with educators, with trainers, and we have them enhance their own skill set,
Right.
because our philosophy is at the end of the coaching session, which can be 6 months or 12 months, they're going to be able to deliver it more efficiently, and as a result, their stakeholder will be more engaged. So we really look to act as an agent of change, being in the middle, and really to be able to connect the right coaches with the right client, so we can actually be able to help them deliver their mission.
Wow, that's interesting. So I want to go dig deep into that. So just want to sort of see the, of course, coaching is amazing, socially impactful, and coaches themselves, they do amazing things. And how does actually this that particular, for example, if you take a project, how does it work? Like, so if you can paint a picture of the typical project or partnership look like, that would be wonderful for listeners to think about, like, how you're involved in which level as well.
Absolutely, great question. Thank you, Sam. So we have two level of initiative.
Okay.
The first one, what we call, is our Ignite initiative,
Yeah.
and those are customized 6 month coaching engagement. And one of the requirements for either the organization that want to receive coaching or the specific client is to believe in coaching, because it's a buy-in process. For us to be able to engage with you, we need you to be able to have buy-in and have a dedicated staff that's going to be
Yes.
willing to receive the coaching, somebody we can interact with. And then the other requirement is to show us that you are supporting, and how you are supporting any of the 17 UN SDGs,
Ah,
because our volunteer are specifically um, skilled, and we're onboarding them to be able to provide coaching for organization in the social impact area. So
right.
that's one. So the Ignite project, which are the 6 months customized coaching engagement, they are 6 months because our research has shown that it takes at least 6 months of consistent coaching to be able to have an impact.
Ah,
So it shows that you have a commitment. Anything less than 6 months is probably not going to deliver because we're looking at long-term change, right?
Absolutely.
So there's a minimum of session that we want the organization or the client to commit to. So what we do, we are really, as I was saying earlier, really act as an agent of connection. So we don't really get involved in the coaching. What we do, once the client comes to us with their specification, what they need, what they want to work on, what kind of change they're looking to do, then we are circling back to our membership,
Right.
and we offer the opportunity to our ICF credential coaches. So we have three levels of credential. We have ACC, PCC, and MCC. And the reason why we want to work with credential coaches, because also as an organization, we want to be able to show the best of our ICF members, of
Right.
our ICS members. And also during those projects, they also are able to earn credit to retain their credentials. So it's a way for us to be able to want to give those volunteer opportunity to our members and also help them, support them in their credentialing journey.
Mhm.
So once we connect the coaches with the client, then this is kind of like where we step back, because we give each of them, these are the best practices, these are the schedule for the session. Now we want to empower you and make the journey your own. So they go off, they do their 6 months coaching, or sometimes it's 12 months for the special projects. And then they come back with us and they give us the result. We also do like a pre-survey, which is kind of intake to be able to see what are the challenges, what are you think are your strengths. So that way we can match you with a coach that's going to be suitable to your needs. But also we ask you, what would you like to see? So then at the end of the coaching engagement, we do another survey, and then we dig into, okay, you say you wanted to support quality education in the city of Rochester for these two elementary schools. I'm just kind of making this up. At
Sure.
the end of the 6 months, how do the teachers feel? How did the administrative staff feel? Did you feel like there was significant issue from, having communication issue rated from 1 to 5 to maybe now, are you feeling a bit more confident? Are you able to collaborate better?
Mhm.
And then, we ask them, from your standpoint, what was the result on the beneficiaries?
Makes sense.
And then we take those stories and then we share them so people can actually see, we can actually show you in a tangible way how coaching has helped create a social impact.
Wow. That's incredible. I mean, especially these organizations that you're probably working with, they are stretched with, are they under resourced and
Yes.
overstretched, you know?
Yes.
So when you go into this engagement, do you define, you know, how do you make that difference? Like, for example, is it the leadership confidence, or is it team cohesion, clarity of, strategy? What is that area that do you guys define that, or you let that coaches and clients to work independently and achieve those goals that they want to achieve?
So it's a partnership. So ICF defined coaching as a partnership where the coach
Right.
encourages a thought-provoking and creative process that inspire the coaching client to explore their goal, values, challenges, and dream so that they can achieve their personal professional potential. So I just share with you the ICF
Right.
definition of coaching. But like I
Yeah.
said, I think it's really a partnership. So what we do, we facilitate that dialogue, but ultimately the client and the coaches have to agree on what would be success for them, because we we are really looking to be able to make that connection. But for us, we believe that for it to be successful, both parties have to be engaged. I mean, coaching is a very personal relationship. It requires trust,
Mhm.
it requires being vulnerable, and also it requires honesty. So
True.
that's something we feel like, by us making those connections, we help people create that process and empower them. And I think ultimately what we want to do is really create what we call the coaching culture. So
Mhm.
even after you came back and you have your 6 months of coaching with the ICF Foundation, our ultimate goal is that you go back and add coaching as a regular budget item for all of your staff, so all of them actually receive coaching, because we want to transform your culture. We want to make it a coaching culture where people feel heard, you have outcomes, and you grow and become better year after year, and so on and so forth.
That's beautiful. I mean, that's what you need, isn't it? Like for those organizations, somebody sort of like, agency coming in and sort of discuss about the challenges and see how you can sort of position, and the volunteers or the coaches who are involved in that, and they're ready to make that impact,
Yes.
so this incredible, like you said, is a beautiful partnership. And I mean, one of the things I saw in ICF Foundation, speaking with your team and many others, getting to know you for last few months or so, and the commitment not just to just to doing good, but showing that good, credible, data-driven way to see the, measure the impact, right,
Yes.
from your end. And I remember I come through stumbles on something around what you have done around that data driven approach with
Mm-hmm.
partners to understand the real impact of coaching on social change organization. So any particular learnings that you would like to share from those um, data driven measuring coaching impact in this organization? Probably we have multiple case studies, we can find on the website, but love to hear one of the areas that one of these use cases or case studies that jump out.
Absolutely. We have so many wonderful stories to share. So the one that I think really, really was a huge milestone for Foundation and ICF was our 2021-2022 Coaching for Social Impact initiative. We
Right.
work with 7 organizations located in 7 countries, and it was specifically tailored to provide coaching to the staff whose mission was to help rescue children from difficult situations. So those ranges from like street children to slave trafficking. So it was a very hard-tugging mission, and we work with those 7 nonprofit leaders. They were based in Ghana. Now, and I'm drawing a blank on the countries, but we had representation from every single continent, including the US. And because we worked with these people for 12 months, they were able to serve 300 additional children. So altogether, as a result of them engaging with us over 12 months, they were able to impact 960 children in total. And every single leader shared with us that receiving coaches have accelerated and strengthened their team. So we are very proud of this project. We have received the 2023 ASAE Power Association Award for this project. It really has been able to catapult us into that social impact thought leadership and really be able to show to all these circles that coaching does have an impact, and we can actually give you the data to support that. But I think more than ever, it's just to be able to see the transformative power of being able to stand and have these leaders tell to their stakeholders, this year we're able to rescue 960 children. I think that's just mind blowing.
I know. Oh my God. So in what capacity that you involve in terms of like helping these individuals who's probably under stress and under so much tension, right, and emotional, I can imagine how anybody who's basically doing such amazing work, and you basically sort of deploy coaches to listen to their stories and help them to understand. So I mean, I don't want to sort of put words in your mouth, but how would you engage in that sort of situations?
Yeah, so just to go back, we engaged with organizations based in North Ireland, Ghana, Malawi, Bolivia, Guatemala, Peru, and Kenya.
Right.
And it was a very intentional effort. So the first thing that we've done is, because we believe in local solution to local problems, we
Right.
want to create that platform when people feel empowered and give them resources. We don't want to come down and tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So the first thing we did, it was a very dedicated effort to hire coaches that were in that country, that speak the language, that understood the political, the social context, so they can relate to their clients. So I think that was the one criteria that really set us up for success. The second one is we were able to work with ICF, which made a huge investment in this project. This was a 12-month project that required a lot of resources, but we wanted to show the impact of coaching. And I think last but not least, I think just being able to almost customize the coaching to their specific mission and needs,
Yeah.
and taking the time to understand what was the need, what was the issue, what was the challenges. In one of them, it was Friend for Justice based in Kenya, wonderful organization. They were working on helping children that were displaced to find a home and be integrated in a group home. Great organization, but had limited staff. So it was really kind of working with the staff where they're at and really be able to give them the tool and say, maybe there's a way you can do this more efficiently. Let's look into it and really dig into it. And within 12 months, the ripple effect was just absolutely outstanding. So I think we don't always have that chance, but I think the more customization you can have and really get to the level of the client and really take the time to understand what is a problem, how we can address it, as opposed of trying to do like a cookie cutter approach. I think that has been one of the reasons for the success of the ICF Foundation.
Wow, that's a lot of work as well. I mean, that's not easy to
No,
get
it's
do.
not.
It's just sort of matching and making sure you get the right resources and working with them to make sure they are in the sort of they are getting that right value that they're after. So incredible. Again, such a great story. And I mean, you talk about the UN sustainability goals and things like that earlier. Like you just very quickly touched on that. Um, Me, I'm coming from an engineering background, so I love data and how you basically, one of the things that we are working on at Delenta today is like, data driven, like how we can make the coaching more visible to the world of how the
Mhm.
how they make that impact and uh, we don't want coaching anymore to be a black box, where you have to keep on explaining to organization and HR say it's
Mhm.
impactful and etc. So how do you go about resolving that challenge in terms of understanding the impact and especially in relation to the UN sustainable goals?
Mhm. So great question. I mean, social impact is definitely has been known to be challenging to define
Yeah.
because there are so many variables. So I think I would like first to share our definition of social impact that our board was very intentional of developing to help us know how do we measure success.
Yeah.
So we measure social impact as a measurable positive outcome of a specific intervention, such as coaching, on the well being and development of society as a whole, aimed at addressing social challenges and promoting social systemic change. So we came up with this definition pretty recently in 2023.
Okay.
However, I think what has helped us being very focused and be able to show the result is using the UN SDGs framework. So I think because we are focusing on the 17 goals and they are really wide enough to be able to fit any specific challenges, it really has helped us have the discipline to be able to have the right partnership
Right.
and the right buy-in so then we can actually really be focused and be disciplined on understanding what are we measuring. One of the things I would notice, I think people get really excited about social impact, but what doesn't get defined cannot be measured. And if you cannot measure it, how do you know if you're successful? So I think sometimes, we get the feedback, oh, we are moving too slow, but I think it's very intentional. It has to be within a certain framework. You have to be to agree on specific data point to track before the coaching engagement and after. Otherwise, I think you just get lost. So I think that's a challenge
Yes.
that most of social impact organization face. I'm not saying our solution is perfect, but I think it has helped us have the discipline of when volunteers come to us and tell us, I want to help, then we can tell them, this is a menu, which one do you want to select? And the same thing for organization, because as Sammy was saying, organization, we want them to think of coaching not as a nice add-on. We want them to think of it as a indispensable tool they need to
Right.
have for their employees. So for them to be able to see the ROI, I mean, as you know, as you meet with stakeholders, you have 30 seconds to make your pitch. You have to be specific, you have to show tangible results, and you have to also explain to them what's in it for them for be able to continue the conversation. I think otherwise you just lose the audience.
That's so true. That's so true. And again, would you mind reading that again? For
Yes,
it would be wonderful to sort of like this is a framework that ICF Foundation adopt when it comes to social impact and how that's how you measure, that's how you control the the sort of data points around around measuring the social impact. So if you don't mind reading again, just for our listeners and myself sake, thank you.
absolutely. So the ICF Foundation defines social impact as a measurable positive outcome of a specific intervention,
Right.
such as coaching, on the well being and development of society as a whole, aimed at addressing social challenges and promoting social systemic change.
Social systemic thing. Wonderful. I think it's a very well laid out and concise message, right? It has, the measurable aspects and, the change impact and not only the, organization, but the community. Yeah, incredible. It's what
Thank you.
covers. Brilliant. So again, going back into the
Mm-hmm.
um, so we have coaches, like, let's say, in our audience, a lot of coaches, coaching leaders, and who are building businesses, but also want their work to matter beyond the individual or corporate clients. So, I mean, most of them are organizations who coach large enterprises, etc., using our product.
Mm-hmm.
But from your vantage point, what is unique contribution that professional coaches can make to the social change based on that framework that you think?
I mean, I think the potential is endless, and I think we just barely just tapping the tip of the iceberg. I think what we are looking for, and as you know, when I read the definition, is really to be able to create systemic change. And how do you create systemic change? Is by influencing behavior in the long term. So I think we have seen especially the impact during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, we offer coaching to organizations that were working in the healthcare space. So during the pandemic, you had a lot of stressed out um, healthcare workers that had to deal with the pandemic. I mean, God bless their heart. They really took us out of a very huge crisis. We can never thank them properly.
Yeah.
But the stress on them was weighing on them professionally, personally, and just for them to have that outlet, such as coaching, to be able to say how they were feeling and be able to get coping mechanism, to manage work-life balance, huge ripple effect. And so many, and this is really from those projects that we did in 2020 that we created this larger project to save the children because we could see there was a need for that. Our ICF chapter will come to us and say we want to do X, Y, and Z. But because we are resource limited, once again, it's important to have a discipline framework and also to be relentless about prioritization because unfortunately we cannot do everything. And I think we would rather do maybe two or three things and do them well than attempting to boil the ocean because we also want to create a culture where we train the trainer. So maybe if your organization receives coaching for 6 months this year, our hope is that you're not come back to any of our ICF members and actually integrate them into your HR department and provide coaching to all of your organization. So we feel like we're just kind of like helping carry on the baton. But the idea is really to adopt a coaching culture, a coaching mindset, and really empower people to do this level of intervention themselves and keep it going, keep it sustainable.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, and yeah, it's incredible. Like, they're the catalyst of this whole, the ecosystem, and they can do a huge amount of. I mean, of course, they're also running a business and they need to grow, but at the same
Right.
time, they meet a lot of, they get a lot of opportunities at the same time,
Yes.
right? They get to meet people who in different stages, and I heard a lot of stories around sometimes coach refer to a client, the client to somebody else because either there's a maybe vested interest, or it could be that
Hmm.
coach probably be able to help better that
Yeah.
the individual, even through that process, even
Hmm.
it's basically connecting the two people together and say, hey, maybe a great person to speak with, XYZ. So there's, yeah, so many opportunities. And listen, so I think we're coming to it's beautiful, in the end of this beautiful conversation. But I basically have quick, short fire round for you. That just come to my mind because you probably in this sort of social impact world, like we are at our business, our colleagues and our community members. Is there any particular book that you read to sort of keep you motivated, keep you going with this ecosystem that you're in?
That's a great question. I really like some of the article that from the Social Stanford Innovative Review.
Right. Yes.
That's really kind of my go-to because I think it's short enough so I can absorb it, but also a lot of it is also something that you can actually apply to your next life. So I really like to read that once in a while to kind of see what the industry is training. I have to say I'm a big nerd. I like to read the UNDP Human Report that comes out every year because I feel like it gives you a pulse of what's happening in that area,
Yes.
how
Yes.
the needs are shifting, and what are the next opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think also I'm a big consumer of the Harvard Business Review just because it's a standard, and I think it kind of help you connect the social impact work and the business work because also we are a corporation. We have to kind of stay
Correct.
in business and kind of create those best practices. So I would say if you're in social impact work and you want to stay informed, I think just have an open mind. I think you can learn from people that do fundraising. You can
Right.
run for people that run a business. But I think it's really the ability to kind of connect the dot and see how that help you move the needle in your own work. So I would say read anything, read
Yes.
everything. But I think, as you said, the most important thing is just connect with people,
Yes.
learn what other people are doing, look what you don't know, because I think this is where you really see growth and where the conversation gets a little bit more richer.
Absolutely. And that's the sources that you just mentioned is there are all trusted sources. There are a lot of good, great research work, scientific, you know, proven methodologies, the framework they have used to gather this information, not like anything else, somebody's saying. So no, thank you for sharing that. And is there any particular misconception that maybe about coaching or social impact that you wish to change or
Yeah,
yeah?
absolutely. I think a lot of for coaching, a lot of everything is like, oh, is it sports? So that's the one thing we have to kind of clarify. I know
I know, right?
not sport, but it's not a sports organization.
Absolutely.
I think there's also a lot of confusion between mentoring,
Mhm.
consulting, and coaching.
Right. Wow.
And
Okay.
sometimes I think when you deal with some coaching client, you have to kind of clarify the coach is not a consultant, is a coach.
Right.
They're not gonna come in and bring in and solve all your problems. They're gonna help you, give you the tool to do that critical thinking for yourself.
Right.
So I
Right.
think that's sometimes one of the distinction that needs to be done early on, so there is no confusion. But the consulting versus the coaching versus the mentoring is a big one.
Big one. Absolutely. And training, therapy, and counseling.
Yes.
Just kidding. Yeah. Yeah. So no, interesting. Okay. So just imagine there's a billboard, right? And you want to put one message about that, a message that every coach on earth should choose to see that. And what would that message be, in your words?
I would say please visit our website so you
Yeah.
can learn about our work. If you're interested in social impact, you are definitely invited to come and get involved in our program. You can volunteer
Yeah.
and give coaching to an organization that is close to your heart. You can also, if you're coaching provider, you can provide scholarships so we can educate the next level of coaches and have them be a part of our social impact journey.
Yeah.
But I would say really, everybody know the good that coaching can do. Please support us with welcome financial gift because then it gives us the ability to offer more projects to organizations that need coaching and need to be introduced to the wonderful potential of coaching. So I would say if anything, please go to our website, engage with us. We'd love to talk to you and let's partner to make sustainable change in the world.
Absolutely. I highly, highly, highly recommend to speak with Coura and her team, and they're so approachable, they're so kind, and such a lovely bunch, and they're so passionate about what they do. And yeah, 100%. I put the same message actually in my Bible if I have opportunity, Cora. So thank you. Yeah, Cora, this has been such a rich conversation, and you've given us some almost like a powerful window into our coaching when combined with international partnerships and robust measurement can genuinely move the needle of the social change organization and the communities they serve. So what you've done is incredible with your team and with ICF, support with ICF. So um, is there anything that you would like to mention? Like, for example, if somebody want to connect with you or your foundation, is there any particular way that they should reach out to you? How should they reach out to you?
No, so first of all, I just want to really thank you, Sam, and your team for the opportunity to come today. I really enjoyed the conversation and really hope we can continue to collaborate and have this discussion. I think for our website, there is a form to contact us. Let us know exactly what you're looking for, and we'll definitely try to get back to you. But really, I would encourage people to really kind of read what we've done, see what kind of makes you interested or what talks to your heart, and please contact us, and we'll have this conversation. But we're looking forward to really working with credential coaches and see, how we can partner with them to deliver that social impact change and really also introduce organization to what coaching can do for them.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of volunteers, and because we know it's not the same, but we work with ICF UK very closely. And
Oh yeah, we do a lot of project with ICF UK. Absolutely.
yeah, so
Yeah.
there's beautiful, beautiful souls, like the people, great coaches, doing some great things with them. So I think this is also chapter based and model as well, right? If you're basically based in a different country to UK or US, and they're probably a chapter in that, in that
Yes,
country or
and it's
region.
a great way for the chapter to actually be able to involve their own membership by
Right.
having them do social impact project, but also what a great way to give back to your own community. If you
Absolutely.
find an organization of you that talks to your heart, give them some coaching. That would be wonderful.
That's absolutely, yeah. Um, all right. So, to everyone listening, if today's conversation sparked something in you, consider one concrete step you can take this month. Like we discussed, like it could be maybe introducing a person that who need coaching to a coach, or it could be somebody who looking to coach, or getting into coaching, how they can basically or get in touch with somebody who's experienced in coaching. It could be anything, exploring pro bono work, or reaching out to an organization you care about and asking how coaching could support them. These are the conversation I think you can take as a concrete step to move the needle that Core and everybody in this coaching ecosystem try to do. So and I'm sure a lot of listeners who are doing this, listening to this, doing this great work. But Cora, thank you for your time and your leadership, and for the way you have the leading the ICF Foundation, sorry, ICF Foundation, um, and then championing coaching as force for good in the world. So thanks a lot and coming
Oh,
on.
thank you, Sam, and thank you for this beautiful conversation. I really
Brilliant.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And okay, everyone who's listening, until next time, keep elevating your work, your clients, and communities you serve. Thank you, and have a
Thank
great
you.
Powered by Delenta, your